Hey, what's up YouTube? Here's a quick update video on the Kitt project. So firstly, some good news to do with the rear hatch. I've now managed to get it closed and it looks pretty good. Now I had a problem with the rear motor, which I've now fixed because of a good friend of mine came and gave me some help. So I've managed to actually get the rear hatch closed now using the pull down motor, and it closes pretty well. The only part is this side. It's not quite as good as I'd like, but to be honest, that isn't too much different to my last Kitt that I had. So this side actually is pretty good. I can't really complain about that at all. Obviously I've got the spoiler to put on the back here as well, so what we'll do is we'll pop this go. So yeah, works pretty well. Now one thing I have done as well is just recently I've had to buy some new struts for the rear hatch because the ones I had on here before were a little bit too powerful. So as soon as I used to undo the rear lock, the hatch used to fly up and it was just far too strong. So this one, what I've done is I've bought the struts, which are made or designed for rear hatches with no spoiler and no rear wiper. So basically what that means is they're going to be the less powerful struts. So at the moment it opens really well. I've got a little bit more weight to add to the rear hatch. Obviously I've got the spoiler to go on the top, but apart from that, that's it really. Yeah, and it closes quite well. So what we'll do, we'll just test it out. So that's the rear motor. I had a couple of issues with it. I think it was a faulty connection, but that's now all fixed and sorted with the help of a buddy of mine. So what we'll do, we'll close this. So what happens is that pulls it down like that. Look at that baby. Not bad is it? So I'm quite happy with that. What I will do though, once all the car is completely resprayed in black, I may have a little jiggle around to see if I can just get that to line up just a little bit closer to the back of the car, the back of the wing. So I'll see. But I do know myself that these rear hatches are a little bit quirky on the Firebirds and Trans Ams. End of the day, I think this is like over 30 years old, this rear hatch. So it could be that these actual plates at the back here, because these are just stuck on and then they're bolted through and then they're bolted as well. So it could be that in time these just maybe move. I mean, it's only got to come back a few millimeters, and you can just see there, look, it's not quite perfect, but the other side is pretty good. But for now, I'm just going to leave it as it is. I'm quite happy with that. Right, moving on to the inside of the car. Unfortunately, I've got a few more bits to change. As you can see, Rock Auto's best customer. I spent a lot of money at Rock Auto, but they do send out quite quickly and the postage is not cheap, but at least you know it's going to arrive quite quickly, and it's quite an easy process when you order stuff on their website. So some new brake shoes, some new drums for the rear. Basically what happened is we took the rear wheels off and we noticed that we just need to put some more shoes on. A couple of the shoes are a little bit broken on the back, so I thought, well, I might as well just, while I'm there, I might as well just change the drums as well, because they kind of come in a kit. So I thought, well, I'll just do the whole thing. And I've got a horn there as well. So the horn's obviously cheap, but the actual drums and the brake shoes did cost me about £250, which is about $300 or $400. So yeah, not ideal. I didn't really want to have to spend any more money, but there you go. These things have to be done. What I'll do now, I'll just go around the other side. So the next big job, which is what we're working on right now, is the interior of the car. We're going to do the electrics. By that, what I mean is I'm just going to go over all of the wiring, all the electrics on the inside, give it a good check over with a friend of mine, and we're going to make sure everything's safe, all the wiring is good, you know, there's no perishes, there's no broken wires anywhere. Check everything, because when it comes to building one of these cars, you want to do all of this sooner rather than later, so that if there are any issues, you can still see what you're looking at in the car. So for instance, when I do the speakers, like the speakers are over there and also there, so I'm just going to check all these wires, make sure everything is okay, and probably change the speakers as well, because I think these speakers more than likely have been in since the car was made out of the factory. I might be wrong, but they look quite old. They look like they've been there for a while. I mean, they still work fine, but I'm just going to change them anyway as I'm doing the entire car up. So moving on, so this is what we're going to do next. Well, to be honest, this is what we're working on right now. This is going to take me about another 2 months to do all of the internal electrics, to get everything changed. And also, while I'm doing this, I'm going to run all my lives and my earths and everything for the different consoles, like for the lower console, for the upper console, which will go across there, and also my Night Rider dash. And also, when I put my leisure battery in at the back, that's going to be something that I need to think about. Now, in regards to Night Rider parts, there's one main thing that I still need to get, and that's going to be my turbo hood. I've got a scoop indoors. I've got like an actual turbo cowl, like a vent to put on the hood. However, I wanted a factory hood, like one which is completely steel, so it was steel out the factory. That is ideally what I want to do, but this one, as you can see, is just a flat one, and although it does line up really well, I do obviously need a turbo hood, because otherwise it's not going to be screen accurate. And Night Rider always had one of those anyway, didn't he? You can't build one of these cars without a vent on the hood. So underneath, I'm going to have to change all of this sound deadening stuff. So that's all going to come off when I spray the hood. So that's all going to come off. Now, if I do decide to keep this one and spray it, obviously that's going to come off, and I'll just replace that. I don't know what to do. I've got a few ideas, a few options yet, but this is really the main, I would say, the main part left on the entire build. I've got lots of other parts in my garage, which I'll show you now, that I've managed to come across. So I've got my fog lights in, obviously my front nose, Night Rider nose is on, got my fog lights there. Each of my indicators, my fog lights at the either end, I'm going to actually spray them with some black tint. I'll show you what I mean in another video. I won't go into too much detail about that right now. But anyway, we'll go into the garage. And first thing is the seat belts. Now look at these lovely seat belts, look at them, beautiful. So I've managed to get 2 sets of tan seat belts recently, and all I've done is give them a good clean. The box down there are the seat belts I've already cleaned. Well, now all I've done is got some hot soapy water and then just gave the seat belts a good scrub, and it's come up really well. So if you ever need to clean yours, if you ever need any, if you've got any seat belts that need a good clean, honestly that's all I've done, and they've come up really nice. I've used a bit of Demon Machine rapid dirt shifter stuff. It's not very expensive, but this just saves me sort of going through lots of other stuff I've got in my cupboards. I just bought this for a few pounds locally, and I squirt that on, give it a nice little clean on the plastic. Yeah, and that's come up quite nice. So they're my seat belts. I've got my tan seat belts, as you can see. I've got 2 lots of seat belts, so between them I can find out which one I want. One of them is a slightly darker tan than the other, so I'll just have to decide which one I want to use for my car. And what we'll do now is just I'll show you my seats. I keep them above the garage. Now look at them. There they are, the PMDs. The seats that you just cannot get very easily at all. Now there are some on eBay, but the prices that they want for them are just extortionate, especially if you're in the UK. You obviously have to pay postage, and it works out so expensive. Now also, what else behind here? We've got, there's the cowl look, there's the vent for the hood. We've also got a 1982 center console there, just behind the seats. Look at that little baby, lovely. Got all my plastics. What I am going to do is be changing this. I'm going to use some plastics without these holes in, because I want lap seat belts in my Trans Am. I don't want the seat belts that come out of the tops, so I'm going to change them. This is actually a Camaro center console, this one here. You can use these instead of the 1982 ones. It just depends how sort of desperate you are to get one, because the proper Night Rider ones are quite hard to get. And lastly, we've got some other seats. And now these seats are actually Camaro seats. They look very similar to PMDs. I bought these because recently I got a load of stuff off someone and he was selling these as well. So I thought, well, why not? I'll just buy these as well. I can make a use for them. And I got a pretty good deal. The only other thing is I got my L trim. Now this L trim is black. The L trim that I had on my last car on the door panels, yeah, you see here, look. There, the door panels, they're black. I would like chrome, but the only ones I've got are black. So I don't know, let me know what you think, if I should use just these black ones or just hold out for some chrome ones. I don't know yet. I've got a little bit of time. I'm in no rush, so I've got plenty of time. But that's pretty much it. So PMD seats, lovely. And some other various bits for the conversion. So I've just left it all up here for now. That's obviously my old door panel. So we'll go back down. So that is pretty much it for the update so far on the Kitt project. So lots to do, lots more things that we've got to do on the car. But there you go. Thanks for watching. And if you've got any questions, just leave them in the comments. Just comment below and I'll get back to you. But that's just a little update along the way, let you know what's going on and what we're working on. So the job we've got now is to do the interior. As I said, I've got most of the kit parts now. The rear hatch, PMD seats, tan seat belts. The scanner is actually on order. I've ordered the scanner from the same place as I ordered my last one from. So I've just basically bought the same one. So that's going to be coming in the next couple of months. They all get handmade. So the only thing I haven't got is a turbo hood, but I'm in the process of sorting that out. So once I've done the internal electrics and I've overhauled everything, I can then think about putting this in for a full respray. Two small jobs that I've got to do before it goes in for a full respray is I've got to get the rear drums and the rear shoes replaced. As I said, I've got the new stuff inside, yeah, in there. And also I've got to change my exhaust. Unfortunately, when I changed, I don't know if you can see that under there, but the exhaust is a little bit too close to the top of the car, well, to the bottom of the car. This happened, unfortunately, when the engine came out and they put it back. The whole thing just kind of moved. So I need to go back to the exhaust shop and they just need to do a couple of modifications on it. But apart from that, guys, yeah, it's really getting there, making some good progress. So thanks for watching, and make sure you're subscribed. Give us a like if you like the video, and we've got lots more content coming up to do with the Kitt project. And follow along if you want to see how I do it, and maybe you want to build one of these cars, or you're just maybe intrigued as to how I do it. Yeah, follow along and see exactly what I do and how I do it. And yeah, leave any comments if you want to ask any questions, and I will reply to you best I can. So yeah, thanks for watching, and don't forget to make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you in the next video.